Lesson 4A, Tokenomics, What to Look For. There are many aspects of tokenomics and research that you have to do when investing in a token and looking into blockchain projects. The first category we're going to take a look at is the team. Now you want to ask yourself, who is developing this project? Have these people have any experience? What are their goals? What is the goal of this project? Are they using it to help people globally? Is it just to support a certain niche within a community? What is the goal of this project? The next question is, what are their credentials? What are the credentials of the people behind this project? Do they have PhDs? Are they computer scientists? Did they used to work at Microsoft or Google? Have they worked on blockchain projects before? And the last question, but certainly not least and not the only questions here, but who are the advisors? A lot of times you'll look at blockchain projects and you'll scroll below the developers and you'll see a list of advisors that are helping and advising this team in what to do. So check out the advisors and also check out the advisors' credentials as well. That could tell you a lot about a project, and make sure that it's legit. A lot of times companies or chains might list advisors that aren't necessarily advisors, so be sure to really look into things like that. The next category is token utility. How is the token used, or what is its utility? So the questions you want to ask here are tokens being burned after a certain event? Are tokens being minted after a certain event? So for example, a lot of times certain projects will burn a few percentage, let's say 5% of every transaction that's being made, which helps keep the asset deflationary. That's something we can look out for. Also, depending on every transaction, chains might create new tokens in order to reward existing holders. That's another scenario that could happen with the token utility. So it's important to look at what's actually going on with this token and don't necessarily look at the base numbers. You have to actually look at what's actually happening behind the scenes when a transaction is happening. Are they burning tokens or are they creating new tokens? That's something that you have to look out for. The third question, is the token used for governance? A lot of new tokens now with DAOs, decentralized autonomous organizations, they are using their tokens for governance purposes. That means that you can vote with your tokens and you can have a say in what happens with the protocol moving forward. So that's another thing to look at as far as token utility. Is this a governance token? And that could sway your decision in whether to invest in it as well. And again, last question, do holders get any rewards or perks? Is there anything special about this token? If you hold more, do you get more privileges? So all things to look at here with the token utility. You can come up with your own questions and your own scenarios as to why these tokens should go up in price, depending on what the token utility is. Next, we're going to look at token supply. So you want to look at what is the token's circulating supply, what is the token's max supply, and what is the token's total supply. All of these things are going to help you understand really the basics of tokenomics. I think these three questions you have to ask are the basics of tokenomics. The circulating supply, that is how many coins are circulating currently right now, not how many coins that have yet to be mined, but how many coins have been mined and are currently circulating through the token's economy. Then what is the token's max supply? With the token's max supply, this is the maximum supply of tokens that can ever be in existence. And it doesn't have to do with tokens that may have been burned. Although with the total supply, that does have to do with tokens being burned. That is the max supply minus any tokens that have been burned throughout the lifetime. So again, token supply is very crucial. It's a basic baseline of Tokenomics. And those are some of the things, some of the numbers that you want to crunch before you do anything. You got to look at the numbers. And the last, but certainly not least category, market cap, potentially the most important thing. Your market cap or market capitalization, if you're looking at it the long way, it's the current price times the circulating supply. So what is the current price of the token? Multiply that by the token's circulating supply. This will tell you how much money is in the project in total. So that if you multiply the price by how many tokens there are, that will give you the total amount of money that is in the project. You also want to look at TVL, or total value locked, and this will be for DeFi projects. We'll get to that in Unit 5. But for TVL, that's going to tell you how much money is locked up in the smart contract of that protocol, and that is mainly going to be used for DeFi. It won't be used for any value exchange tokens like Bitcoin or Litecoin. And you want to look at comparable projects. So projects that are like the project that you're looking at, you might be able to look at its market cap to see how far, or the potential that your token that you're researching can actually go. So if your token does something similar or is in the similar industry as another one, you can actually gauge how much growth your project could do if it follows the same suit as the project that's doing similar things. The last thing we have here with an asterisk, it's cost basis analysis. Now, this is something that a lot of beginners to crypto look into, and it's a mistake. You shouldn't be doing your research based on cost basis analysis. Now, what is cost basis analysis? It is going and looking at the token's current price and thinking that it has a lot of room to grow just because the price is low. Now, what you really want to look at is you want to look at the token's market cap, right? Because tokens can have a very low price, like not even 1 cent. It can have 1/10 of a cent or 1/100th of a cent. And just because you see it's a lower price, you think that it has a lot of room to grow, but its market cap is already pretty high. So if it was to get to 1 cent or 10 cents or $1, the market cap would have to be astronomical, thus making that scenario not really possible. So a lot of people look at Dogecoin or a coin like Dogecoin and think that since the price is so low, it could eventually get up to 45,000 like Bitcoin, and that's just not the case. Because there are so many Dogecoins, its market cap is so high, it would take an astronomical amount of money to actually get it up to 45,000. And it's just not feasible and probably not really possible. So when you're doing this research, make sure you look at cost basis analysis and don't fall into cost basis analysis. You want to check out the market cap and don't actually look at the token's price, and that will actually help you understand how much a token can grow in the future.